We're going to do a quick bell ringer like we do every morning. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes. We have 2 questions on the board to lead us into our next lesson about floral design and the parts of a floral design. So the first question is, what do you know about floral design? And the second question is, do you know at least one of the 4 types of design materials? So if you go ahead and take out your notebooks and start writing down the question and then write the answer after it like we do every time. And I'll give you about 5 minutes to do that, and then we'll go into our PowerPoint. So what do you know about floral design? That's great. Okay. Where do you see floral designs? Think of things like that. Like where would you see them? Like an important time of year you really see floral design. This is another thing to think about. So do you know about floral design? That's how we think about the time of year you really see a lot of floral designs, like things like that. Yes, ma'am. Where? Oh. You had a vase or something, you had a table around it, and you had a stick with like a piece of foam or something. Same thing like floral design. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, so it'll be good whenever we start doing our design. Okay, so I kind of went around and asked everybody a little bit. Does anybody want to tell me what they know about floral design? Okay, Samantha.
So floral design is the art of arranging flowers into a design, whether it's a symmetrical pattern or a specific shape.
Okay. Anybody else?
It's pretty.
Okay. Holly has something interesting she told me, if you don't mind sharing.
I worked at Edward Arrangements for 2 Valentine's Days, so like that could come into play with floral design in a way, because you know how to arrange stuff already.
So some background she has. It may not be just flowers, but it's still arranging things to make it look pretty. So does anyone know one of the 4 types of design materials?
So one of the design materials is mass flowers, so these can be larger flowers that you use to have a showcase piece, so that's the first thing you look at when you look at an arrangement.
Okay, so Sam kind of led us in. That's one of the things they're going to be talking about. When I say types of design materials, I'm really talking about the types of flowers you're going to use, which is what we're going to go over today. Not so much like the vase, that type thing, which is all important. We'll go over that next time, because once we start, you're going to have those materials to make your design. So we're going to go ahead with the lesson. We're going to go over the PowerPoint. It's kind of short. So types of design materials. So Sam said mass flowers. What else do you think is a type of flower that you can do? So think about when you look at a bouquet of roses on Valentine's Day. You have roses, and then what else do you have in there most of the time? You don't have just plain roses. That's not pretty from a forest. Brittany?
Filler.
Filler. Okay, so that's one. That's kind of the name of it.
What?
So we have line flower, So you think about a line, that's kind of basic, you know, line. They go in a line. They're normally kind of tall, you would think, so you can see them over the other flowers. You have mass flowers, which Sam was talking about. They're like your focal point, or like the big ones that you see in the middle. You have your form flowers, and then you have your fillers flowers. So can anybody give me an example of possibly a line flower? Samantha.
Snapdragons, Island,
Okay.
anything tall and pointy, delphinium.
Okay, you should listen. Okay. So, line flowers are tall spikes of flowers with flowers blooming along the stem. So when you think about it, you want something full. You don't want just a stick sticking in the back of your flowers, in your back of your bouquet. So it creates the outline, hence the name line, the outline of the bouquet. And then they are attractive by themselves in a vase. So sometimes if your mom, I know my mom has snapdragons in her yard, and she'll cut them, put them in a vase, put them in the house. They look fine. They don't have to have a bunch of extra stuff in them. They look nice. They're full. They're very big most of the time. The actual flower part is. So that's something that you can do. You don't have to have it just in a bouquet. Am I good?
I'm not good.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. Okay, so here's some of the examples. So after we get done with our lesson, we're going to do some flashcards with what design material it is, a picture of the design material, an example of the flower, and then the name of it. So I'm not going to give you all the pictures of all the flowers. We're going to go over some of the names, and then you'll do the rest. So there's some snapdragons, and so you can see they're kind of big. They're full at the top. So they're also going to be tall, so you can stick them down and have them really high up above stuff. Liatris, Scotch broom, Gladiolus. I think that's kind of a common one that I see. And then there's foxglove. They just look kind of neat. They look like little bells to me. Most of them do. That you're going to use as a line flower. So here's the mass flowers. This is what Sam was talking about. So can anybody give me an example of a mass flower or what you think it might do? Anybody? Junior. A mass flower.
Bill think, or not Bill, that's big, something big.
Something big. Okay, mass. Think of big. Who's gonna? What? Do you think someone would? Is that where they're gonna look when they look at your bouquet? Do you think they're gonna look at the mass flower? Okay, so what do you think would be an example? Roses. Okay. When do you normally see roses? Valentine's Day. Okay. So mass flowers have the flower head on the terminals, and that's on the end of the stem. So you think about a rose, it's on the end. They don't have a bunch of flowers all over. It draws attention to the focal point, like we said. It's the mass part of the design. So you want something big in the middle. It covers a floral foam, so that's one of those materials we're going to talk about tomorrow. In the bottom that you're going to stick all your flowers in. And then it's a good choice also for a quick vase. So if you just want to throw something together on your table, or you have some sunflowers outside and you want to sell them for a little bouquet down at the farmer's market, that's something easy to do. You don't have to have a bunch of extra stuff. Okay. Here's some examples. So if you think back to Valentine's Day, did you ever see carnations? Carnations are important at Valentine's Day as well. Do you see, okay, so the main place that I really think of floral designs, sad to say, but at a funeral. A funeral is completely full of floral designs. And you have different types. You have plain roses, you have roses and baby's breath and some snapdragons, and it's all in one. But it all looks like it goes together, right? So roses come in different colors. You pick snapdragons that match those roses, and it all kind of goes together. But still, if you think this is in the middle of one floral design, about 3 of these, don't you think somebody's going to be looking at this instead of the baby's breath or the snapdragons at the top? So that's something that it just catches your eye. A lot of times they're bright colored. So I like carnations. They're just pretty to me. these are some others. Oh. Zinnia, daffodil, daisies, hydrangeas. Hydrangeas are the big, have the big balls, and they can be the pinnacle ones. Those are also big. They're going to be a focal point. So these are what I was talking about. You're going to actually do these by yourself. We're going to get flashcards, or either we're going to make a Quizlet, whichever one you prefer, and so you can study them for your test and stuff. So I'll let you get these names down so you can be able to write them on your flashcards. Good. Alright, form flowers. What do you think these are? Okay. Oh, so they're unique. They're very unique. So a time that I would think of it, I had one when I was in high school. My corsage for prom was an orchid. Most of the time they're carnations or roses or something. It was very different, but it had lots. It was like a bluish purpley colors, and there are things that could come in a bunch of different colors. That's how I look at it. So it's unique. It also grabs the viewer's attention. Yes, ma'am.
How long ago did you go to prom?
4 years ago. 3 years ago. 4 years ago.
I couldn't help myself, I'm sorry.
Okay. So here's some of the examples. So as you can see, like here's the orchid. It's very bright. It's very pretty. Down here, this one was different for me. The bird of orchard. Okay.